So, we are on day 2/day 3 of my pre-compost mishap. We're just going to call it a mishap, right? So, last night I've been watching it. And when I ended off at, I said that, I think the last thing I said, it was about a 77% moisture content. And then my temperature was kind of low to the point because of adding, all that cold stuff. So I then decided, okay, maybe me adding all that really cold, slushy slop, it affected the heat aspect of it. So I went ahead and plugged in my seedling mat and stuck it on there. Now, usually I generally try not to keep it on the seedling mat for too long unless, there's literally, it's outside and it's really cold, or in the garage and it's really cold, because the garage only can get up to maybe about 60 degrees. And so I have been monitoring it with my little probe, my meter. And so far, this is what it is today. Okay, so it jumped up to 81% in moisture. It's only gone up to 89 degrees so far. It went to 89 and then dropped down to about 87 or 88. No, 87. So then it dropped back down to 87 and then it went back up. Now, I don't know specifically because I botched this batch. It's not the first time, or probably the last that I have botched a pre-compost. But the way that it is acting, as far as not really doing anything yet, I will still keep monitoring it. But what I figure is it's either there's still a slight lack of moisture, so I could add some more moisture into it, or it could also be a lack of, maybe I don't have enough nitrogen is what I thought I did, and those pellets really aren't, working for it. So I think I have a couple other things that I may be able to wiggle to be able to add a little bit more nitrogen to the process. What I did also forget to do, and I should have done, was I do have some coffee grounds. It's not a lot. It's maybe about 2 gallons worth, if that. So what I'll do is, if it doesn't seem like it's still really doing anything of what it should be doing, by, I figure, tomorrow, I'll give it another night. If it's still not up in temperature, like if we're not into, at least the hundreds, because it should be at least getting close to hundreds by now, or shoot, it probably should have already reached it. So if it's not going to do that, then what I'll do tomorrow, I'll just wait until tomorrow, see what it does. And if it doesn't jump up in temperature, then I will go ahead and add the excess stuff that I might be able to swing that'll bump it with some more nitrogen. I just got to be very careful, or I'll end up messing it up again and having too much nitrogen. So I kind of got to do it in spurts and see if it works. Add so much in the beginning and then kind of monitor and watch it. So this is what it is today. It did really jump up in moisture, so I do have a bit, but I think there still might be some dry pockets possibly as well. And that could be what's affecting it too. Or the fact that the cardboard, it's not soaked enough into the cardboard for it to be instigating any of that process. Or I just might not have enough nitrogen versus the amount of carbon. I usually try to get that ratio as close as I can that I know that works for my size of bin containers that I use, so I don't overmax on carbon or nitrogen. But with the situation that I tried using the beetroot alfalfa mix, maybe it does not have enough nitrogen to work. It could be either or it could be both, for all I know. But, you know, I will keep you posted. But this is what my bin is as of today, as far as the 81% moisture and then the 89 degrees in temperature. And tomorrow, I will see what it is, and then I will go from there. But I will still keep everybody posted, and you can follow along on this mishap, what it does, and how I fix it. Okay, so that's it for now on that, and I will... Hi guys, so let me just adjust it a little bit. Okay, so this is a check-in of my pre-compost. Now, I kind of made a mistake, and I didn't turn it when I needed to turn it. I'm so tired of the door. And what's happening is it is starting to go. It's not horribly, it doesn't smell horrible bad, but the bottom is starting to kind of go a little bit anaerobic. So I was going to add some more stuff to it, but there is actually a little bit more moisture in here than what I want, and that's probably not helping either. So I think what I'm going to do to fix it, it was steaming, and it's actually pretty warm in here. I mean, it only reached to about, I would say 96. It didn't go any higher than that, but some of it is broke down a little bit, just not a whole lot. But I mean, it was steaming. It is actually kind of warm for even it reaching only 96 or 98, 96, 98, something like that. So I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm just going to add, because there is a little too much moisture in here. So I miscalculated just a little bit as far as moisture goes. And so I'm just going to work in some carbon and some coffee grounds to see if I can get this. I don't think the nitrogen cycle really kicked in. And I forgot I do have some coffee grounds that I can work in. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that and see if I can get this thing to do what it needs to do. So we're going to, because I do got to get some of this moisture out up here just a little bit, because this is not good. This is where your anaerobic starts happening, is if you do have way too much moisture buildup or you added too much. So this is, I botched this batch. I take blame, since I did end up missing that whole step. And I have been trying to fix it ever since. So we're going to go ahead and add our coffee grounds. They are dry, so for the most part anyway, they're dry. So we're going to go ahead and add some coffee grounds in here. Plus it'll also help get rid of that anaerobic smell. It'll smell like coffee then. And I did stop by to my local Starbucks today, leaving my mom's house, and asked if they had any grounds. Apparently ours only start doing grounds at a certain point in time, but the gal said she's going to start putting them aside. So hopefully I can get more coffee grounds as well, for the nitrogen. And of course she kind of giggles. She goes, well, usually we don't have them, but you know, I guess it is about that time. I'm like, well, this is for my worms. I kind of need them year round. She goes, oh, she starts laughing. So she says she's gonna start putting some out. Start putting them out now. I didn't realize they only do it during you know, gardening season. I thought they did it, you know, all the time, but I guess not. I guess it makes sense. It's not like you can grow during winter here. Or anything, so, yeah, hopefully I can get some coffee grounds going. Then it'd be a lot easier. I did make up a slurry, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and start another batch, except this time I will do it correctly. Instead of botching the batch, like I did to this one. I've only had one batch I've done so far actually turn out right. I've botched out of the 3 times I've done this. By golly, I botched 2 out of 3. But, you know, that's what happens when you're in a hurry. You don't pay attention. And nobody else to blame but yourself. Because you're in a rush. So I'm hoping this soaking up some of this will help. Soak up a lot of this moisture that did kind of build up. Now, my previous little update I did that I put it on the heating pad because it got way too cold, and you know, for compost it's got to reach at least up in the hundreds, and it actually did not reach that. Maybe I should probably unplug it now and see if it'll do it naturally on its own. That could also be another cause. So usually I turn it off, but I didn't. I probably should have. So it is what it is. Nothing ever goes perfect all the time. But we'll try and get this fixed. And another thing I could do too is add some, which I do not have, of course, go figure, is you can add some activated yeast as well, or you can also do biochar, carbon, which I have, but I don't have. I have it in a different form and it won't really do much. But that's if you want to get rid of any odors. But I think once I get this situated, because I've fixed my odor problems before, this one just went the other direction this time. So now I've had both sides of the spectrum when it comes to a pre-compost. I've had the fermentation, and now I've had the slight anaerobic. Definitely both ends of the spectrum. It's not overly pooling, but I mean, you can see it. It's dripping. It's definitely dripping. It's too much liquid. So I misjudged that a little bit. That kind of puts a damper on things. Add a little bit more carbon as well into this part. But we'll get it fixed. It'll fix. It's just going to take me a little bit longer to get it to where it needs to be. Because like any compost anyways, you're supposed to turn it. So that way it, you know, gets mixed through and stuff like that. Anyway, just like any compost. And I didn't do that. I got busy with something. Wasn't really feeling too good yesterday. so I can get around to it. I really don't want to add I could add these, but I don't want to because I just did it. Into here as well. Give it a little extra soakage. The temp started dropping slightly yesterday. Something told me I should have did it, but I didn't. Now I'm paying for it. Listen to your gut. Your gut never lies. I think that's one mistake some people do with this, is why it doesn't work out. Is this system works great, don't get me wrong, wonderful for your worms. Your worms really do it, but you have to get it down just right when you first do it. Like my first one went fermentation stage. The second time I did it, turned out beautiful, no smell, no odor, nothing, worked out great. This one, I rushed it, missed a step, and then when I did it, I added too much liquid, and that too much liquid is where it starts getting into the anaerobic smell, and it's because it's not supposed to stink whatsoever. When you do this, there is not supposed to be any smell. It's supposed to smell like dirt when it gets done, and if you add too much or too little, you'll get it in a couple different directions. So, and I think a lot of times that's what happens to some people when they try to do this. If you start getting that stinky anaerobic, I mean it stinks, smell, that means you've got way, way, way too much liquid. There's too much moisture in that. Because it is. It's supposed to smell like dirt, literally. And then, should be good for the worms. Yeah, it doesn't. You always do the smell test. Always do a smell test. Definitely does not smell bad anymore. Okay, so that's that. Now that I think I fixed it, I didn't add a whole lot of carbon. It was basically just enough to soak up. Yeah, that's better. It's just enough to soak up the excess moisture, and then add a little bit more into it with the coffee grounds for the nitrogen aspect, and it should be good after it hits its whatever main temperature that it'll hit. And then once it starts coming down, it should be good. I'll give it a good turn tomorrow as well to make sure it's still not building up with moisture, and then you know, we'll go from there, and then it should be done. I should have just turned this one. I thought about it. Oh well. And then I'll just use the stuff that I made up and make another batch, and we'll go from there. Okay. So we have come to the point where it is time to check our pre-compost. My pre-compost has kind of gone down a little bit, so I'm taking a guess it's probably done. It looks like it's about done. The moisture content has dropped. The temperature went down that I've been monitoring it. And so far, I'm not getting any weird stinky smells or anything so far. Just smelling it. So I think we are about ready, but I'm going to go ahead and start diving in to double check, see where we're at, and if we are good, then I will start working on Grandpa and everybody else. It does not smell, which is always a good sign. Let's get to the bottom. Start working it. It's still a little warm in there. Let's see. Oh yes, much better. It does not stinky. It's got a couple bits and stuff in it that you can tell aren't really broke down per se, but it's also from the top cover from when I pulled it off as well. But overall, the smell went away, so it balanced itself back out. There is about, on my meter, it's saying there's about a 75% moisture content in here. So it did go down a little bit, but I didn't lose overall a whole lot. So that's always a good thing. And the temperature is down to, it hit about 71, so it has come down quite a bit, which means it is ready to start applying into with the worms. Let's see what else. I just want to make sure nothing smells off funky before I do start applying this into with my worms. Yeah, no, it smells good. Let's see. It's still a little bit warm, but it definitely has come down. So it's at a good temperature. And the moisture content in it is actually perfect. So I am pretty happy with it. I'm glad I was able to save it before it got too far gone. Smell test. Always do smell test. Always, always, always do a smell test. I don't know, the past couple days, all I was getting was a wet cardboard smell. So it's been smelling kind of weird, but I mean, it wasn't horrible smell, but it's definitely just been a wet cardboard smell. But it's nothing horrible whatsoever. And that's it. I made a mistake. When I realized what it was doing, I was able to combat that by adding, you know, a little bit more carbon, especially. I think the addition of the coffee grounds did help. It also kind of neutralized some of the odor as well, that from it going, you know, wonky. So if you have that happen, that's how you fix it. In this general instance of the direction that it was going in, you know, it always depends of what direction your compost or your pre-compost is going will determine how you fix it. All it needed was just a little bit more carbon to soak up that excess moisture that I did manage to add in there, because you do not want it that wet. See, it's still squishy. So there is, see, I get a good ball. So there is still a good amount of moisture in it. It's not saturated. There's no puddling of water. You don't want puddling of water at all in this setup, because that puddling of water, that excess moisture, is where you start having the problems. And if you have enough of that moisture without it being overly saturated, then you are golden. Of course, keep your nitrogen and your carbons balanced. That's another factor. If you add too much nitrogen, you get that fermentation smell. Go back and add some carbon. You get too much moisture, add some carbon. As long as you still have a nitrogen, nitrogen in here in your mix, you won't have a problem. It's the skipping steps. Rushing, don't rush. Because that's where you start making the mistakes, is when you do start rushing. Like I did. I rushed and I had to turn around and fix it. But yeah, I am pretty happy with this. So the next step is to start adding it to Grandpa, and we will get Grandpa going. And then I still have to start another batch because Grandpa's going to take a bit of this. More than likely. And then I still have my other bins that I still have to do as well. So, unless I just do a small amount of Grandpa, and then I'll try to reserve some for my other bins as well, which I probably might go ahead and do. That way I can get them recalibrated in their bins. But yeah, it smells good. No off-putting smells. It looks good. You can tell it is slightly breaking down. It's not completely broke down, but it should be enough that it should make them pretty happy with what's in here. And they should have a blast in this. And then hopefully I can get the majority of the worms moved out from my finished end of Grandpa. And then start, collecting that. But, the pre-compost helps them do that. So when it's already pre-set up for them, they will immediately move to the new section because it's going to be all fresh. It's going to be already, started as far as the compost process. They'll be able to eat it, have fun with all the little microbes and everything that else is going on in it. So remember, I did add castings, which inoculates it and gets it going. So that's also all in here, which does help the system as well. And then now all I have to do is just add it in there, and this will last them. This should last them a good while in between the feedings, especially for all those ones that enjoy the carbon. They will thoroughly enjoy this as well. So okay, let's move on to the next step, and we will get Grandpa going. And then I also have a couple feedings to give them once I do this. That way they have some food. Because it's really hard to feed the way I've got it now. So, okay, let's get to the next step, and we'll get Grandpa going.